Sup YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here and welcome back to our TCG deck profile video on my channel. Today, the god of all Pokemon, Arceus, returns to the format in a tier 1 position with Temporal Forces. So Arceus with Giratina and a lot of new cards, thinking about Maximum Bout, thinking about Iron Leaves EX, thinking about Eerie, thinking about all these new cards that are going to help Arceus VSTAR become a tier 1 archetype again. So if you guys are enjoying the content I'm pushing out every single day, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in ridiculous ways. Without further ado, we're playing 3 copies of Arceus VSTAR. This actually is a very amazing card because with Starbirth you can get 2 cards instantly from the deck. So how's that for consistency? So if whether you're looking for your one-off ace pack card or whether you're looking for a double turbo energy, it doesn't matter. You can just fetch anything you want with Starbirth. Trinity Nova also a reasonable attack and now can become very aggressive against EX Pokemon because in the past, you of course had an attachment and a double turbo energy, so you're slapping 180. Well now, with Maximum Bout in the format, which you're able to fetch out with Starbirth, you're going to be able to slap 230 on the second turn against EXs, becoming the aggressor once more. So Arceus gains a huge buff with Temporal Forces, so 3 copies of Arceus VSTAR in this list. Now we're also going to be playing 4 copies of the Arceus V, otherwise we will not be able to make it to the V-Star, so 4 copies of that. Also with the Trinity Charge, you're going to be able to, of course, set up some Pokemon on the bench, whether if you're going second, you can do that. Then, Giratina V-Star. Why is Giratina V-Star great? Well, Lost Impact slaps 280 damage. Most of the VMAX archetypes have left the building. Decks like Gardevoir EX are a little bit less popular or actually not that good anymore because they lost so many things. So most of the Pokemon you can one-shot with Lost Impact, whether you're looking like a Roaring Moon EX or a chien-pao, you can just one-shot with Lost Impact, very nice. And also, with the help of Maximum Bout, you can even one-shot a Charizard EX if you didn't use Maximum Bout on Arceus V-Star. So, 2 copies of Arceus, actually of the Giratina V-Star, and then 2 copies of the Giratina V. This can also help if you're breaking a little bit with Abyss Seeking, and also the Shred attack of the Giratina V helps out against stuff like Mimikyu, which you probably will need at one point if you're up against Mimikyus in your upcoming tournament. Then, we have 1 copy of the new Iron Leaves, allowing you to absorb all the energies you want and flying yourself into the active position when you place it down on the bench. Without Path to the Peak in the format, Starbirth is always live, so fetching cards like this will be super nice. You slap it down and then it flies into the active position, absorbing energies, and you can slap a lot of damage with the Prismatic Edge, slapping 180 damage, one-shotting, of course, a Charizard EX. You could also use it to one-shot a Roaring Moon if you want to. Then, of course, our good friends, the B-Barrel line, a 2-2 line with the Industrious Incisors to draw up to 5 cards. So, draw until you have 5 cards in hand. So that's going to be our draw engine throughout the game. Very nice because we're playing a high amount of disruption. Think about Iono, think about Judge. So we definitely want to be drawing back up cards with the B-Barrel. Then, on top of that, we have a Scovit with the Nest Stash on top of it because Scovit works together with B-Barrel to declunk your hand. Let's imagine you're full of supporters or full of energies. You can just use Scovit, put them all on the bottom of the deck, and then draw again with B-Barrel to draw cards you really want. Okay, Arceus is of course a Judge deck. In the past, they used Path for disruption, but we're going to be seeing some other disruptive cards in this deck to make sure you can win against a lot of archetypes out there. So 3 copies of Judge. If you're able to use that on the early phase of the game, a lot of decks might crumble. You don't have Path to make sure you can just slow the opponent down even further, but Judge on itself is great. And we're also playing the Stadium card, the Pokemon HQ League Quarters, or actually League Headquarters, so that's gonna help out against a lot of basic decks out there, but more on that later. First of all, let's talk about some more supporters. 3 copies of Iono. This is also very great in the early game to make sure you... this actually is not playing any research. I am a big fan of just save all your resources you want because of the fact that Iono in the early game can get you 6 cards as well, and most of the time you're just digging for an Arceus and an energy in the early game, so there's that. Then 3 copies of Boss's Orders. Of course, targeting down Pokemon on the opponent's bench is going to be the main way you win. Bossing up something, slapping it down with a Trinity Nova, or of course, using the Giratina to knock out something like a Pidgeot EX. It's all possible. Lost Impact, strong attack for sure, but with Boss, you make sure the prize raise goes your way, and you can even knock out with Trinity Nova stuff like Squawkabilly EX, Mew EX, Lumineon V, you name it. Then two other supporters here. We have one copy of the Cheer and Scare. Very nice if you if the opponent is not able to one-shot you. You can Cheer and Scare the Arceus back in hand, evolve the one on the bench, and you go in circles with Cheer and Scare. And then Eerie, a new supporter that is very disruptive. You can choose 2 item cards from your opponent's hand and discard them. Why is this great? Well, if you're able to, you can fetch this out with Arceus VSTAR, by the way. Let's say you use Trinity Nova, but you just need a DTE and you just use Starbirth for the double turbo energy and you have 1 slot remaining. Why not fetch this? You can maybe discard rare candies. Let's say you're up against Charizard, for example. Eerie, bam, 2 rare candies destroyed from their hand. Or maybe you're up against a Lost Box deck. Eerie, boom, 2 Mirage Gates gone down the drain. So a very, very strong card in a deck like this. So we have some healing power with Cheer and Scare. We have some disruption with Eerie. Then we're going to be playing some item cards as well. 4 copies of Nesball to fetch out our basic Pokemon, of course. On top of that, we're running 4 copies of Ultra Ball. So not a lot has changed for this, because in the past Arceus was not running VIP Pass as well. So VIP Pass is gone, but we don't care with Arceus. We are still standing strong. On top of that, we're also playing 2 copies of the Capturing Aroma to dig a little bit deeper, because if you whiff your turn 1 Arceus, you probably lose the game. So that's your addition onto Nesball, Ultra Ball. You can have some more outs, and the Capturing Aroma, play that before you play any of your Nesball or Ultra Ball, because this can get you either an evolution when you land the heads, or a basic Pokemon when you land a Tails. Then 2 copies of Switch. Sometimes you do start with something like a Bidoof, or you start with a Giratina V. You want to get out of the active position, so you can Trinity Nova. And with, of course, 2 copies of Switch, you of course find them a little bit easier. In the past we had Escape Rope as well, but that has rotated. Then a couple of one-off item cards. We have Counter Catcher. When you're behind, you're going to be able to gust up, and that's going to help out, because sometimes you do fall behind against specific archetypes. With Counter Catcher, easy searchable through the means of Arceus VSTAR with Starbirth. You can make it happen. Then 1 copy of Super Rod. The reason why Super Rod is in here is not only to recover your energies, it's going to help out to recover Iron Leaves if you happen to discard it. Or maybe you can use Iron Leaves twice against the Charizard deck. That also is super nice. Then a Lost Vacuum to knock off these powerful tools like Maximum Belt, etc. Not that Maximum Belt will hit us because we're playing V Pokemon, but there are still the HP buffing tool cards out there, like the Hero Escape with 100 additional HP. Sometimes that could be a little bit much to handle, so a Vacuum in this format is actually not too bad. Could also bump a stadium that we don't like. Talking about ace-pack cards, or ace-pack card of choice is Maximum Belt. Being able to slap 50 additional damage against EX Pokemon is too good to pass up. That means that Arceus VSTAR can knock out basic EXs, for example, Roaring Moon EX, chien-pao EX. And also, if you don't use that, you can use Maximum Belt on Giratina VSTAR, turning Lost Impact into a 330 HP slap, which is insane. So Maximum Belt is the choice for sure in a deck like this. For the stadiums, we're only playing 2 stadiums. Path to the Peak has rotated, so stadium bumps are not that relevant anymore. But I do think that Pokemon League Headquarters helps out against not only the Mill archetype. That means they need an additional energy to use, of course, the attack that Crust Collapse, if I remember, like on the Great Tusk. Also, attackers like Roaring Moon EX would need an additional energy. The Baby Roaring Moon. So I think this actually does bring some merit to it. So 2 copies of the League Headquarters is definitely going to be helping out with, of course, Disruption. And for the energy count, we're playing 14 energies, with 4 double turbo energies being the first of the bunch. The 4 double turbo energies powering up Trinity Charge, Arceus V, or the Trinity Nova. It's very nice. And also with Lost Impact, you can actually Lost Zone a double turbo energy, which is very nice. And also get B-Barrel deactive. Then 3 copies of Psychic Energy. This is going to help power up Lost Impact. And more importantly, we're going to be playing 6 copies of the Grass Energy. Why are we playing more Grass Energies than the other energies? Well, the reason for that is that the more Grass Energies you can have in play throughout the game, the better Iron Leaves will become. And in a format with Roaring Moon around, and a format with Charizard EX around, having, of course, an answer and slapping for weakness is very nice. So 6 copies of the Grass Energy. And then last but not least, Mist Energy. This is going to protect ourselves from Frenzied Gouging or Star Requiem or any effects on the opponent's attacks, which is super nice. put that onto the Arceus and feel yourself safe once more. So this actually is also a new card. So what do we see here? Lots of new cards. We have Eerie for some disruption. We have Mist Energy for some protection from one-shot moves. We have Maximum Belt dishing out more damage against EX Pokemon. And we now have a very fantastic Charizard counter in the form of Iron Leaves. So let me know what you think about Arceus Giratina post-rotation with Temporal Forces and all these new cards. The deck is finally back to its tier 1 status that it actually lost with Paradox Rift. It actually was not good. Arceus was sometimes around with Regigigas VSTAR, but now it does seem like it all stitches together with a very new approach to the deck and lots of capabilities. Anyhow, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want, of course, some Dragon Shield product, head over to dragonshield.com. Use the coupon ZapdosTCG, link down below, helping out the channel tremendously. You're probably going to be buying sleeves for upcoming events regardless, so why not get 5% off over at dragonshield.com using the coupon ZapdosTCG. There is also PoTownstar.com if you're looking for TCG live code cards. You can use the coupon code ZapdosTCG to get some TCG live codes, and yeah, make sure your account is max rarity or up to date or whatever you want to do with your account. There's also yourplaymat.com if you want to create your own custom playmat. You can now do so, of course, by clicking that link down below. Get 10% off. They ship worldwide, so definitely check it out. And last but not least, there's CARDMARKET.com. If you're a European player, definitely head over to that website. You can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe, and you can even use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. Anyhow, have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Let me know which deck I should cover up next with post-rotation as I'm training for EOIC. I'm actually making more and more decks, so I'm very excited for this upcoming format. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Peace.